project managers, and I've had the honor of working with PMI for a few years now, and that is that project managers, listen very carefully. Y'all are the ones that make the world go around. Did you know it? Give yourself a hand. Because let me tell you this. You can have the most incredible vision. You can have the most incredible concept. It can be very, very complex. You can have brilliant ideas, but if we don't have project managers, we got nothing. Would you agree? And so y'all are the builders. You're the ones that take it and bring it to fruition. You're the ones who take it and build it. Do y'all have that in your bones? Do you feel that? Wow, y'all are so excited today, I can hardly contain my joy. So what we're going to talk about today is Mind Over Mountain. And Mind Over Mountain, one of my favorite quotes is by Edmund Hillary. And what he did is he and Tenzin, his Sherpa, were the first two people to climb the summit of Mount Everest. And what he said, it is not the mountain that we conquer, but ourselves. And so what I want to talk about today are project managers, and look up here, project magicians. Sure, I'll wave my wand and make that happen. Anybody said that? Wanted to. So you're the ones that take it and you make magic. And when a company comes to you with a vision, and a company comes to you with an idea, and a company comes to you with a concept, it's your job to make it happen. But who makes it happen for the project manager? What about your dreams? Have you taken the time to look at what your dreams are and your vision? One of the things that Eric just said was that he is in transition. So when do we take time, except when we're in transition, to think about what is our vision? What do we want? What does it look like? And what are you going to do to make that happen for you? The world is changing very rapidly, and we are having to own our careers. We talked about that yesterday in my presentation about the elephant in the middle of your career. So when you're looking at that and you're looking at who you are and what you want, to get that dream. Now, I saw this when I was putting together my PowerPoint, and I just had to include it. This is a letter that someone wrote, and it says, I want to follow my dream of working as a project manager in the building and construction industry. But I'm too damn scared that I can't make it happen, so I don't try at all. Kind of makes you hold your fork in the air, doesn't it? How many of us have let go of a vision or a dream or something we wanted because it's too hard? And I know you're eating, so I'm not going to ask you to write this down, but I am going to ask you to think about it. What would you do if you were not afraid? What would you do if you were not afraid? Because fear is the greatest thing that stops us from achieving what it is we want and what it is that speaks to us, and it is the fire in our belly. But fear keeps us from doing it. And I hear every day from my clients 1,000 reasons why they cannot do something, why they cannot have it, why it won't work. And these are the ways that fears infiltrate and get into who we are and stop us. So what I want you to know is life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And if anyone knows change, project managers know change. My goal for you today, if I could have anything, if I could take the wand from that magician and wave it across this room, it would be for you to have what you want. For you to get what it is that you want. I don't know if any of you have heroes. When I was growing up, I really wasn't sure what a hero was. And in fact, it wasn't until about 6 years ago that I found out what a hero is. One of the things that I do, I am an executive coach, I'm a strategic coach, and I work with senior level executives who are going through transition. They're either moving in, up, or out of an organization. And you know, when I say that, it comes across really smooth, doesn't it? But let me tell you, my heroes are my clients. And the reason why I say that is if you've ever been through transition, you know that it is far harder than any job you have ever had. Has anybody ever been through transition? Am I the only one? Oh, thank God I'm not the only one. Oh. Okay, so you know when you're going through transition, what comes up? All your fears come up, right? Am I ever going to work again? Am I really as smart as I thought I was? You know, what about the people and how they're looking at me? And they're wondering, are you get a job yet? Did you get a job yet? Did you get a job yet? Did you get a job yet? Have you landed? And the stress is absolutely, positively, can be overwhelming at times. I want to tell you that this quote here, the man who moves mountains, begins by carrying away small rocks. So when we're going through any kind of transition, and let me tell you what, we're all in transition, whether you're in a job or not. A lot of people left their job years ago and their body just shows up on Monday. Okay? A lot of people are at the job and they're daydreaming the whole time. They're not present for that job. Or you're in transition in that you're moving somewhere, or you've got empty nest syndrome. But we're all in some kind of transition. I want to tell you about one of my former clients who carried away rock by rock by rock, small rocks. And his name was Sheldon. That's to protect the innocent. Okay. And he was one of those people who was very linear thinking. He worked for one of the 4 largest oil and gas companies in the world. Oh, I wonder who that could be. Okay, there's 4 of them, maybe 5 actually. And what happened during 2009 and 2010, if y'all remember, there was an economic debacle. Was anybody present for that? And the higher you go, the thinner the air. And when you go higher, there are fewer jobs. And he was one of those people at a senior level where the company just took a whole swath of senior leaders and let them all go. And my guy was one of them. And being an engineer, who's a very focused kind of guy, I have to tell you though, he wasn't the most glib, he wasn't the most chatty. His interpersonal skills, because of the type of engineer he was, that was something that he had never really cultivated. I have a senior roundtable, and when Sheldon would come into it, people would go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. job because they fell asleep when he talked. And the thing about him, though, is he was so tenacious. He showed up every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, he carried one of those rocks. He showed up, and he showed up. And I knew that anyone in that senior level during 2009 or 2010 had in front of them a 24 to 36 month search. Can you imagine going in and knowing it was going to take you 2 to 3 years to get a job? But he came in again every Tuesday, every Tuesday, every Tuesday. The drop, the drop, the drop. Waiting to see what drop would split the rock. What drop would take him to the next place in his career. And one day I said to him, I said, you know, Sheldon, I think what we ought to do is we ought to work on your metaphor. And what that means is about 6 years ago or 7 years ago, somewhere in that time, I quit teaching my clients 30-second commercials, 90-second commercials, because what they really were about is how do I put someone to sleep in 30 seconds? And they always start out with, you know, I do this and I do that, and most recently, I've done this, right? And the person is checked out on you way before you even get to the end of the first sentence. So what we do is we work on metaphors. So how can I talk to you metaphorically and do it in a way? Do you know someone's calling? Who could that possibly be? That is amazing. Well, hello, how are you? It's never happened, but I think it's a message that we're right on track, right? So the point is that we went metaphors, because when you give somebody a metaphor, you paint a picture. And what is that adage? Yes, absolutely. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to paint a picture. And the picture is, in this particular case, is he was a gasification guy and an LNG guy. So we looked at that and we said, okay, Sheldon, tell us exactly what it is you do. And the different people in the round table would start throwing out metaphors. Does this work? Does that work? And all of a sudden we hit on one and Sheldon lit up like a Christmas tree and went, oh my God, that's me, that is me. I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge between gasification and LNG. I'm a bridge. He had given birth to his metaphor. He was so excited because up until this point, he didn't realize that not only was he a bridge, but he was able to translate very complicated information to other people that could then get the job done. Have any of you worked with somebody where you had no idea what they wanted you to do? I'm the only one? Oh, thank goodness. So you need people that are translators who can translate that. So he was not only a bridge, but he was a translator. So a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks pass, and he's on an interview. And he said that the person that was interviewing him, her eyes started rolling back in her head because he was just boring her so badly. And he said at that point he knew he didn't have a chance. So he may as well use that darn thing Cecilia talked about. So what he was going to do is he threw out his metaphor. And all of a sudden she went, oh my God, really? You're a bridge! You're a bridge! And they start talking and they have this incredible conversation. And guess what? She invites him back for another interview. And then Sheldon gets so excited that he runs home, he gets on his LinkedIn account, and guess what he did? He had a headline about being a bridge. And all of a sudden he's getting all of these hits. He's getting hits like he's never gotten hits before. He's up there, oh yeah, I'm in Sheldon, I'm a bridge, I'm happening, you need me, it's working. So Sheldon is beyond himself, right? So he has not only got this person who's excited about inviting him back for an interview, but now he's got LinkedIn happening. So I said to John, Sheldon, world, okay? So anyway, it reminds me of what Gillis said yesterday. Everybody he refers to as Dave. So I said, why don't you, write a blog? Oh my gosh, I might as well have asked him to jump off the bridge. He said, Cecilia, I'm an engineer. We don't blog. Engineers don't blog. I said, well, wait a minute. Aren't you an expert? Oh no, I'm not an expert. Wait a minute. They say that 10,000 hours, which equals 5 years, equals an expert. Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Those of you who do not know me, I have my MSU. You have a PMI, I have an MSU. I make stuff up. Always have. Okay? So, what I made up was this. If 5 years equals an expert, then 10 to 15 years would equal an authority, right? And then 25 years or better, like he had, would make him a guru or a master. So I said, Sheldon, you're a master. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So I really stretched him. I call this the gas factor. What you do is you stretch somebody till they totally freak out and jump out of their shoes. And then once they freak out and they calm down, you say, okay, are you an expert? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be an expert. I'll be an expert, but I can't be what you tried to stretch me to, at least not right now. I said, I want you to go write a blog. So he goes, oh, Cecilia. Well, it wasn't happening. So then I got into my engineer mode. Because y'all can tell I'm really engineer-like, can't you? So I go, engineer. I start channeling engineer. Let me tell you what I want you to do, Sheldon. I want you to go to WordPress, and I want you to figure out how it works. Oh, he was all over that. He ran out to WordPress. He's looking at it. He's figuring it out. He comes back to the round table. I said, so tell us about WordPress. Oh, well, it does the this, and you need to do the that. And I said, wow. And he said, so while I was out there, I blogged. I said, you blogged? He said, yeah, I was already out there. So he writes out his blog. He said, but you know, Cecilia, that takes a lot of thinking. That takes a lot of time. You have to really think hard as an engineer, and you have to make sure your facts are correct. And you've got to do a lot of research. And I said, yeah, I know. And he said, it was like really long. It was like as long as the Yangtze River. Yangtze. You know the Yangtze River in China? That river? It's really long. I'll get another river. If you can get back with me, give me a river and I'll throw that one in instead. Thank you for that. So it's this really, really long thing. And he says, I can't be writing, epistles every time I turn around. I said, well, what if you cut it up into fourths or eighths and then put it on auto-respond? Well, I could do that. So he goes back, he writes a really long one, he chops it all up, he puts it on auto-respond, it starts going out. He's now in rhythm. He comes to the round table and he says, Cecilia, people are contacting me. They want to put my blog on their website. Really? Could it be you're an expert? Oh my! Life goes on. John comes back to the round table about a month later. Well, he's still coming every week, but it took a month for this one to come back, and he says, Cecilia, RigZone called me. They want to quote me. Oh my God! Now Sheldon is being quoted by RigZone. Okay. Time passes. I don't have one of those things that go time passes. Okay. Time passes. I am having one of my executive forums we're going around introducing ourselves. We get to Sheldon. I know Cecilia is gonna ask me if I blocked. And I gotta tell you, I didn't. But I tweeted. At that point, we had to pick up everybody off the floor. Here, we had Sheldon in the beginning, who people were, what is it that they say about wallpaper drying when you're listening to them? Here he was, and now he's tweeting! He's tweeting! Now we are now in about 24 months to 27, 28 months of his search. The next thing that happens is now that he's a tweeter, and not only is he a tweeter, he's a blogger, and he has just done all of these amazing things. The next thing that happens is he comes in and he has gotten an offer from one of the largest Chinese oil and gas companies in the world to head up their sales department. Engineer, sales. Now you tell me what could be more polar opposite than that. He goes to work for them, and he's there a year, and 2 more companies come a-courting, knocking. And now he is the SVP, and I can't remember the acronym of the company, but there's lots of them out there, so choose one. And he is now the SVP of oil and gas for a major oil and gas company in the world, but he is based in Houston. So why do I tell you that story? If we go back a second, the man who moves mountains begins by carrying away small rocks. One of the things that Sheldon said, because at the end of when my clients land, when they start a new position, we talk about what were their lessons learned. What was learned? What really was mind-changing for them? And one of the things he said, Cecilia, in the beginning when you said what I wish for all of my clients is a long, long, long transition. He said, I wanted to jump over the conference table and strangle you. He said, but now I understand what you were talking about. What you were talking about was it takes a long time to make changes. And we don't change unless we have to, usually. So when we're put into a situation that gives us the latitude and gives us the resources and the tools, we can now make new decisions to go after what we want. I have to tell you, he is the most charming, amazing man. Not that he wasn't in the beginning, but it reminds me of the quote about Michelangelo when he was carving the David. I dated Michelangelo, okay? So I remember being there, and there was this big block of granite, and he had chipped away the torso, and so you could see the top part of Michelangelo. And his apprentice said, how did you know that David was in that block of granite? He said, David was always in that block of granite. I just chipped away everything that wasn't David. So how many things are we doing that are really not us? What are we doing because we've always done it that way and nobody has showed us any different? This is what he did. He persevered. The resilience, the patience, the persistence, and the consistency. Because what happens is when things get hard, what do we have a tendency to do? Thank you. Give up. You get 50,000 points. So we give up. Or we say, I can't do it. I just can't do it. When OTC was here, I was speaking there, And a friend of mine, I was saying, oh my God, they said there's going to be 100,000 people there and the parking and the thing. She said, Cecilia, you need to Uber. I said, what? You need to Uber. I said, what the heck is an Uber? She said that you call and you get this app and this car comes picks you up. And I went, oh my God. And I remember how many times I've said to my clients, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And I have to practice what I preach. So she shows me how to load the app, and it looks like all these bugs are crawling around on your iPhone. And then you get a choice, and I had no idea what all those choices were, so one said black car, I said send me one, I own a black car, why not? So the little car comes and picks me up, and I went, oh my God, guess how I got here today? I Ubered! So what are you going to do that's different? What are you going to do that's going to shake your life up and not be scared? I was like, woo! Uber! Some person's going to pick me up, don't know I'm from Adam? You know what I mean? Yeah, she knows. We've got to get out of our comfort zone. And if you look over here, the most dangerous place to be is right here. That's the comfort zone. What happens is when we take on a new position, when we first come in, we're in high anxiety. And that's because we don't know where the restroom is. And we don't know where the power is. And we don't know who's doing what, who knows who, and what to say to whoever, right? But once you get past high anxiety, guess what you go into? You go into the learning zone. And now you're learning. Now you've got that high learning curve, but you're learning, you're happening. Oh yeah, I know where the restroom is. Oh yeah, I know what the project looks like. I'm happening. And then boom, you hit comfortability. And that's where you go to sleep. Because once you're comfortable, oh, I'm supposed to tell you all this. Any tweeters out there, tweeter people? No tweeter people? Oh, we do have some tweeters. I'm supposed to tell you hashtag PMI HOU is for one of them, and then that's the other one. You can tell that that's next on my list of getting out of my comfort zone. That's where the magic happens. When you can get out of your comfort zone, when you can stretch, when you can do something different, even if it's a small rock, you can now begin to change things. And I want you to think about, what are you willing to change? Because drop. You never, ever know what drop is going to split the rock. But it's that persistence and it's that showing up over and over again. Does anybody know who she is? Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Susan Pearl that you may not know. When she was born, she had a lack of oxygen, and it affected her brain. And consequently, she has learning disabilities. When she went to school, she was bullied, and people mocked her, and they made fun of her. And when she was 12, she found music. And so every day, because she never did well academically, so every day she would go to her room and she would sing with Donny Osmond on an album. And she did this, she showed up every day, a rock, a drop, every day. And then what happened after all those drops, her mother died. And when her mother died, her mother is the one that had suggested that she get on to Britain's Got Talent. And, okay, Richard, it's happening. It's happening.
Okay.
She's 47. was that when you walked out here, people rolled their eyes. They were already mocking her. They were already going, how could this woman who looks so unconventional? And when they asked her, who is successful? Who is your idol? And she said, Elaine Page. And they fell out of their chairs. I don't know who Elaine Page is in the United States, but in England, she's one of their top singers, right? But she stood up there and she was willing to take a risk. She was willing to take a chance. She was willing because one of the talent shows that she tried out for earlier in her drop by drop by drop, her brother told her the reason why you didn't get it is because of the way you look. Well, that really gives you confidence, doesn't it? But she kept on, and she kept on, and drop by drop by drop. When we think that somebody is an overnight success, or they get their dream job, or they get that promotion, it was the drop, the drop, the drop. Hello, Richard. Oh, I forget if there's a delay. I'm sorry, mea culpa, mea culpa. Mea maxima.
Maybe it's so good it lasts eternity.
This is Elaine Page.
Must go wrong, but this has never yet prevented me wanting far too much for far too long. Looking back, I could have played it differently. Want a few more moments, who can tell? But it took time to understand the man. Now at least I know him well. Wasn't it girl so good? Wasn't he fine? So fine. Isn't it madness? He caught me one.
That is Susan Boyle singing with her idol 6 years later. Drop by drop by drop. She came from a little bitty town in Scotland that is not even on the map hardly. And she had a learning disability. She was mocked, she was ridiculed, she was bullied. But she showed up every day for what she wanted. What do you want? What is important to you? Because let me tell you what you believe is either going to move you forward or it's going to derail you. So how do you talk to yourself? What's the story you tell yourself? This is when fear gets in our way. When we tell ourselves that we can't do something. But let me tell you this, the universe has a one-word vocabulary. If you remember nothing else today from me, remember there is a one-word vocabulary, and that word is yes. So if you say, I'm never going to get that job, the universe goes, yep, you're right. If you say, I'm never going to get that raise, yes, you're right. If you say, I'm never going to get to move to South Dakota, yes, you're right. If you say, I'm never going to get pregnant, yes, you're right. See, the men are really getting excited. So you really need to be careful with that, yes, okay? But listen to what you are saying and then put yes at the end of it. And you will find out what it is that you believe. Today, when I Ubered over here, the gentleman who Ubered me has now Ubered me 4 times. And his name is Abi. And Abi was telling me today he was disappointed in one of his teachers. He just graduated from U of H in computer sciences. He works for the Hilton, driving their shuttle for the last 11 years. And he also does Uber. And I said, well, what do you want to do? He said, well, there was this book I read a couple of years ago in class about aging gracefully. He translated it from Ethiopian into English in his spare time. And not only that, but now he's trying to get the copyright to it. And what he told me about some of his teachers at U of H, they did not make me learn English diction the way I should have learned it. They were not hard enough. That's the total opposite of when we say it's too hard. This is a man who says, when it's hard, I want that challenge because it's just going to make me better. He said yes, and he said yes again. And it's showing up for him. And he has already got people coming to him, talking to him about jobs in computer science. The other thing I want you to know is the word I am are the most powerful two words in the English language. I am. And if I was to put that in a context of scripture, it says, I am that I am. It's saying that is powerful. It calls us into existence. People see us. So when I say I am not smart, when I say I am not going to get it, what am I doing? I am aligning with the two most powerful words that will derail me. But if I say I am strong, if I say I am competent, if I say I am fortunate, if I say that when something shows up, I am going to receive that, now you are taking the two most powerful words. So we do not use our words in the English language consciously because it shows up. And we can look at our lives and see how many times we get derailed. Henry Ford dated him too. Okay, what Henry said, and he used to say this all the time, he said, Cecilia, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right, yes. Y'all know that one. But how many times are you doing that? You're saying, I call them incantations. I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that. It becomes a ritual, and I'm going around saying I can't. And if that's not enough to show you how complex we are as human beings, our body hears everything we say. So if you say, he's a pain in the A-double-S, my mother would never let me use that word. Guess what? You're going to end up with a pain where? Absolutely. I want you to pay attention to what you are saying because it creates, how we show up. Richard, please.
Power is expressed through these highly specific, evolved, nonverbal displays. I think it's interesting to look at images of Obama where he will be leaning back with his feet up on his desk and, really spread out when he's sort of in his own space. Powerlessness, on the other hand, is expressed through the very opposite nonverbal displays. One that comes to mind is an image of Michelle Obama on the cover of Vogue, where she's all sort of crossed up and making herself really small, which to me doesn't even fit her. It doesn't suit her. I'm Amy Cuddy, and I'm a social psychologist and professor at Harvard Business School. My main collaborator in this research, Dana Carney, and I were having a conversation after teaching MBA students at two different schools. One of the things that we noticed was that the students who were participating a lot had different body language from the students who were not participating a lot, who tended to be women and non-white men. What we were really interested in knowing was whether or not you could change their body language and actually change the way they felt and behaved. Testosterone is known as the dominance hormone. It's associated with confidence and assertiveness. Cortisol, on the other hand, is known as the stress hormone, and that's associated with an inability to adapt in highly stressful situations. people looking at primate hierarchies noticed that if one member of the hierarchy becomes more powerful, within a short period of time, that member's testosterone level rises and his cortisol level drops. So we started wondering, if you pose as if you have power, will your body and your mind change in a way that looks as if you have power? So in short, we were really asking, can you fake it till you make it? So to test the predictions, we have people coming to the lab.
So, I say, can you fake it till you become it? If everybody would stand up, please. Okay. Power pose. Which one spoke to you? Yes, this is victory. What is this? Strong like bull. Strong like bull. Victory. Yes. What are you feeling over here? Yes. And do you know what we know? If you go in, don't do this while you're in the interview. Okay? I want you to do this in the bathroom stall. Okay? Go into there, shut the door, and go, victory! Yes, that's it! Victory! Yes, and I want you to hold that. Do you feel the energy coursing through your being? Yes! 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 You get 50,000 points! Whoa! Oh, I know! Whoa! So is everybody going to do this before their interview? Yes! And let me tell you what, if there's people you're scared to talk to, go into the bathroom stall, okay, restroom stall, and go in there, because this one woman, she always, when she went to see her doctor, she felt one down. So before she would go in to meet with her doctor, she'd go in, yes, you can't tell me what to do! And she would go in there and ask questions now. So wherever you are in a situation where what you want to do is you want to get across your message and you feel timid and you feel shy and you feel like you can't say what you need to do, what are you going to do? Power pose! Yes! Okay, I'll get sit down for a second. Yes! Yes! Yes!
We take a salon to get their baseline.
Okay. Our bodies change our mind. What do football players do on the touchdown? They jump around, don't they? What do basketball people do? Yes. Just watch sports and you'll understand. So how do you set yourself up for success? There's an intersection called risk and opportunity. What are you willing to risk to have what you say you want? Every person in here and on the planet has experience, right? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was wondering if y'all were aware of that. However, not everyone learns from their experience. So this is what I call it, AFGO. So when you run into a situation that's an experience that you wish you were not having, that you say, oh my gosh, what that acronym stands for, and you know I have my MSU so I make stuff up. It stands for another flipping growth opportunity. AFGO. So when you're hitting it and you're going AFGO, AFGO, this will help you cross that bridge so that you can learn from it. And the next thing, because we're going to combine these, is you've got to learn how to cha-cha. So we're cha-cha, and we bump into something we don't like, AFGO, cha-cha-cha, AFGO, cha-cha. Okay, everybody out. We're going to AFGO, cha-cha. Come on. Come on. Okay, think about something you're bumping up against right now that you're not wanting to learn from, and it's just making you ticked off. Okay, ready? AFGO, cha-cha. You are in and I gotta tell you, with these shoes, I am freaking nuts. Okay. So y'all got that? I want you to sit down and write down that. Oh, that was nice English. Sister Moral died. A-F-G-O, what? A-F-G-O. A-F-G-O. So you gotta be willing. You gotta be willing to do what you. I can do this. I'm exhausted from the cha-cha. What are you willing to do to have what you want? I dated him too. I dated him too. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to look on your table, and you're going to see a card. Everybody pick up one of the cards on the table. Got it? Okay. So what does it say? Can you talk loud and stand up for us, please?
I will no longer.
Uh-oh.
His mic died.
Okay, so I am no longer willing to tolerate. What are you no longer willing to tolerate that is keeping you from getting what you want? Are you no longer willing to tolerate not coming home and getting on the bathroom scale and seeing that you're 20 pounds overweight? Are you no longer willing to tolerate how somebody is speaking to you, so you're going to learn the tools on how to have a meaningful conversation with you? Are you no longer willing to tolerate that your boss sent you to Ticonderoga, or whatever that word is, and you didn't want to go because you didn't have a conversation because you were scared and you were not owning your career? It's part of this is once you know you won't tolerate something, then you can get the tools to help you do that. So if everybody would take a moment, write the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't make this difficult. What will you no longer tolerate? And once you have that, I want you to write down what is one thing that I am going to do that is going to begin to change this. Does everyone have that down? Is that a yes? Is that a no? Is that anybody home? Are we conscious? Oh, so you're still meditating on it? Okay, so it sounds like this is something that y'all are going to want to give a lot of thought to. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at your table or somebody that you know in this room, and I want you to go to them and ask them that if they will be your accountability buddy, that by Monday you will have an answer. Well, don't everybody just get so excited. Yeah, come on, yes! Chop, chop, chop. This is bumping into something you don't want to do. Chop, chop, chop. A-F-G-O, A-F-G-O. Another freaking growth opportunity. A-F-G-O, A-F-G-O. It's another growth opportunity. Do y'all have an accountability buddy? Excellent. Do y'all have an accountability buddy? Is that a yay or nay? Thank you. Over here, y'all got one? You got one? All God's children got an accountability buddy? Okay, all God's children got an accountability buddy. Okay. Those of you that know what it is, that one thing that you want, think about one thing that you really, really want. Just one. It doesn't have to be big, just one. And now, does everybody have one thing? Yes. Oh, thank goodness you're still here. What I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to see it. I can see if your eyes are open. Close your eyes. Your eyes are open. Your eyes are open. Close your eyes. Do you see it? You see it? I want you to see it completed. I want you to see it done. I want you to see it finished. I want you to see it accomplished. And now, you see it? It's done. It is done. It is signed, sealed, and delivered. It is finished. It is complete. Okay. Just hold that vision. You got your eyes open. Shut your eyes. Now what I want you to do is while you're looking at it within your mind, I want you to feel so good. You feel that so good? I mean, you can feel how good it is to have completed what it was that you want. Do you feel it coming up from your toes? And it's traveling up your legs? And it's traveling up your body and out your arms? And now it's back in your mind and it's all coming together and it's complete. Do you feel good? Yes! Say yes! 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 It's mine! It's accomplished! Yes! 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 You're going there! You got it! So let me tell you what. And so today, my friends, I'm asking for every person in this room to come to the edge. I'm asking you to come to the edge to see where life wants to take you. I want you to come to the edge and be willing to take the risk to stand on that ledge with me. And I want you to take a step feeling good because you have it. You saw it, you felt it, and it's yours. And guess what happens when you can feel it, and you can see it, and you feel it just pulsating through your entire body? You know what happens? You fly. So she said, come to the edge. And they said, but we are afraid. And she said, come to the edge. And they said, we cannot. She said, come to the edge. And they did. And she pushed them, and they flew. May you all come to the edge and fly this year. And go do that one thing, because you never, ever, ever, ever know what drop will split the rock. Thank you. I'm Cecilia. Dear project magicians, go enjoy the rest of the conference. Mwah!